Oh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rumboyz After Dark, the Drunken sports talk show here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. As always, got Ty Boogie here by my side, joined by Pete, DJ Seismic, aka Bitch I Shuffle. We also got Rumboyz Central up in the house.
That's good.
Also, the backbone, the mainstay over on Rumboyz.com. Make sure you guys all head over to Rumboyz.com if you have not already. And then always, of course, there is myself, El Capitan. All right, I'm sorry, Le Admiral.
We upgraded.
Yes, that's right. You're the captain now. Robbie J, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, we got to start this off right before turning it over to JD for the beginning of the show. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls. What do you do? Dilly dilly.
Hey.
Dilly dilly.
All righty. So wait, before we dive into things, Blaze X, what's good? Looky here. What is good? What is good? Dilly dilly. We're gonna both become fans of you guys over here on Sportscaster. Please make sure that you do the same. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Also, we started the stream off at the beginning in the chat. There's a link there for new merch that is available just in time for you and your loved ones for the holidays. Let your loved ones know that you need that Rumboyz merch. You need that swag underneath the Christmas tree this holiday season, in your stocking this holiday season. So make sure you guys click the link at the top of the chat.
Only making 100 of those Pirate Gang ones too. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
limited edition.
The Pirate Gang ones are gonna be limited edition. So JD, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this off. Let's kick it off.
welcome to Rumboyz After Dark, the drunken sports talk show where you rate us in the comments 1 through 5. Don't forget to rate us, guys, after each comment. Let's start with Robbie J. Mitchell Trubisky wants everyone to shut off the TVs in the Bears training facility. Do you like this strategy to just have everyone tune out the noise, or do you think it's a weak move? So do you love it or hate it?
I think it's fucking hilarious. I think that it's great. This is great for everything, for memes. This is great for Snapchats and TikToks and Instagrams, and this is just awesome social media stuff right here. The fact that Mitchell Trubisky is going to allow the words of the local Chicago media get to his head and get to him, I think it's fucking fantastic. I think it's the most hilarious thing next to seeing Darnold seeing ghosts.
All right, Ty, what do you think about our quarterback?
Yeah, he's. I mean, I don't want to say bitch, but honestly, that's the word I'm gonna use. Because, it's soft. It really is soft. Like, yes, obviously, like, no kidding, they're talking bad about you. Think about the expectations. Not only a Bears fan, but the NFL other fans had, looking in at this season. You're playing bad. I mean, you play well. You're going to want to turn the TVs on. Let's turn the TVs on. Let's listen to what these guys are saying about us. Let's do this. Let's do that. And obviously you're playing bad. You deserve the stuff that's being said about you.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have come out in the media and said that, to be honest with you. I mean, again, that's a soft move. I don't like it. I hate it. Yeah, if you want to, call a players only meeting, don't leak this, but look, we're going to get all the TVs turned off here. I'm going to keep the media out of my head. I'm going to move forward if you're Trubisky, but I hate it. I can't believe he said that live and like two people, and it just makes us look weak. And this is sad. So,
like, why don't you just put your headphones in? Anyway, I want to hear from Pete.
I mean, as a mutual point in this, I definitely think that Mitch Trubisky's being a bitch, man. I mean,
It's a mutual point.
I mean, it's just
you're a bitch.
yeah, nah.
Mutually, you're a bitch.
They're crying like, come on, man, you gotta fight. You gotta fight back, bro. You gotta prove them that they're wrong.
Well, he can't whenever Matt Nagy is holding the playbook. Whenever Matt Nagy's the one holding the playbook, that's a big problem.
I'll be honest, man. I'm still looking at Trubisky to make some of these throws. Like I wouldn't trust the dude to give him longer throws because he can't make them. Like I agree that you have to switch something up, but I wouldn't trust Trubisky with a throw more than 3. I don't trust him with a screen, to be honest with you. Like,
bro, you shouldn't trust him with the
He
top.
misses some of the easiest passes, and it's really fascinating too. Like because I heard about it. His fundamentals are all off now. His fundamentals. There's nothing to go back to because he doesn't have that much experience to begin with, and he's just dropping back and just staring at his guy. He's like, "Oh, I'm going over there." I'm just stare. Doesn't give anyone any illusion. It's just It's weak.
It's blatantly obvious, and he can't make the blatantly obvious throws. So it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Really frustrating. All right, well, let's move on to our Thursday night game. John Gruden's Raiders won a close game. Many think that if Rivers played a little bit better, the Chargers would have won that game or the offensive line. Is Rivers falling off, or was this just a Chargers breakdown?
I want to first say shout out to Paulie Sleepers on Twitter. You guys can follow him at Paulie Sleepers. Simple as that. We had discussed this going back all the way to a year back. A tweet from our account to his account had aged very, very well when we had stated around this time that Philip Rivers had began a new arm. You go back and you watch, I believe it was our Week 12 episode, and I had mentioned this exact thing that I'm mentioning here 2 weeks earlier to the date. I even mentioned last night during the play-by-play. Wow, Rivers, you are you're 2 weeks earlier. Rivers, it is time for you to retire. I feel that you are washed. Retire before you are completely washed. Okay? There's still time for you to be able to save yourself. And right now is a good time for, at the end of this season, to decide that you're going to go ahead and do that. You got more kids than ODB from the Wu-Tang Clan, okay?
I would have bet my life Robbie mentioned it. I would have bet my life.
You've done really well at holding in anger and not cursing. But go ahead and just get out before it is too late. Shout out to Tina Tequila for following us here on Sportscaster. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to follow you as well. Hit that green button. Follow us back. Yeah. Go ahead, Ty.
Connor Burke. I'll start out with Connor Burke. My man hit it with the bring an Easton stick. You know what?
Yeah, Tyrod.
I though am not going to be at the point where I think Rivers is washed up. You guys are missing the slight fact that he's leading the league in passing yards. There are people out there that just throw interceptions. Brett Favre is one of the most notorious guys for being a league leader and one of the best arms, but throws a shit ton of interceptions. Rivers is a gunslinger. I mean, he is. Yes, I get that there's other guys like Aaron Rodgers who throw the ball as much, don't throw his interceptions, but he's still leading the league in passing. Yes, he has bad games where this is the first time he's thrown more than 2 interceptions. So I get it. Yes, is age affecting him? Obviously, you're a quarterback. You've been throwing in the NFL for 10 plus years, let alone how you got here. That arm is definitely going to take some pain, but I'm not saying washed up yet. I think he's got a year, maybe a year and a half left that I would not panic. I mean, you're pumping the brakes. You're pumping the brakes on Rivers a little bit in the next year or two, but I still trust him to finish out the year. I think it's just the Chargers that are on a year like Chicago, where you have a lot of expectations. You're really not doing well, not putting it together, and it's kind of kicking you in the ass. And
last night, Rivers was like, you get an interception, you get an interception, you get an interception, you all get an interception.
I agree, but again, I'm not trying to judge the end of his career off of one game. The end of the game was another interception.
I'm judging it off of the last 2 seasons, the same time towards the end of the year.
Well, again, I'm bumping up. Do I say he's washed up? No. I still think in the next 2 years he will maybe not lead the league, but he will be a top 5, top 10 quarterback in passing yards, passing touchdowns. He's still Philip Rivers. Will the interceptions come? Yes, they've clearly increased in the last 2 years. We've been saying it for a while and are up there this year. But would you rather Mitchell Trubisky right now or Philip Rivers for the next 2 years if I had to ask you? I mean,
Walker,
not that that's like
Walker
a take,
fucking
but
retirement home.
I think that Rivers pre-snap is keeping his pre-snap ability. He has one of the best pre-snaps ability probably in the NFL. You know, you look at all the best veteran quarterbacks. What do you think about this one, Pete?
First off, I'm gonna say good dub. Way to go, Raiders. I mean, Felipe Riviera, that was a vintage performance, man. Vintage fuck up from Felipe Riviera. I mean, he's a gunslinger, I no doubt about it. But he's gonna have these vintage ass games where he throws 3 picks and less, 200 some yards. Like, nah. I mean, I think he's still a contender. I wouldn't say anywhere more than top 10 max right now. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Still balling. He's an old guy, but he's still balling.
Yeah, I mean, retirement maybe in a couple years for sure.
Worst take goes and gets the next round of beers.
I'm with it.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I like what Jake Miller is talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that, JD? We're doing next worst take on this next question. Whatever the question is, has to go get a beer. So you're actually going to be rating our 3 takes.
All right.
You can throw yours in after, but you're going to be rating our 3 takes.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I'll rate your takes.
Bet.
That sounds fun.
BKB
What's up?
BKB dropping a 20 dono. Appreciate that.
Keeping us honest, baby.
BKB's the man. Would you want to see the Chargers or any other NFL team play in London or Mexico City?
So you're talking about like the whole rumor of the Chargers being a team that would transfer to London.
I mean, any team.
But any team in general.
Yeah.
So
Chargers have the most recent rumor.
Blue Jay Don, thank you for joining us here on Sportscaster. We're going to click that green button, give you a follow. Click the green button as well and give us a follow back on Sportscaster. Greatly appreciate it. So what do I feel about a team going international? So first off, look, before I even begin, let's first start with the fact that this is goddamn near logistically impossible for the NFL to pull off. Okay, so what are you going to do? I get first you're looking at a 17-game season. You're looking at an extended game season. So that way, there's at least an extra bye. So then what is this team let's say that this is London, okay, that they go to. Is this team that goes to London going to play 4 or 6 straight games in London? And then they come to the US and then they play 4 to 6 straight away games? And is that how we're doing this? And then they're just living their lives in hotels here in America? Let's just think about the way that's affecting, families and yada, yada. I mean, are they going to have to move there? Are they going to keep their families here in America? Or are they bringing their families to London? Like, what is that? What is that side of it?
You need like work visas and all that stuff, like a whole agreement.
Exactly. Customs is a bitch and a pain in the ass. NFL, how are we getting Tortorol over there? All right. They're going to be like, what the hell is this? You give this to humans to perform after injury?
And you send it back out 2 minutes later?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like this just, and then sports are significantly different overseas in London. Like, let's look at the way that the London games have already worked out. It's a bunch of our friends across the pond, okay, with their high-ass tea prices. All right, over there. I'm kidding. We love you guys. Okay, but they're all over there, and they all come to the game in different NFL jerseys. It'll literally be the Jags, and God knows who else playing each other in brown jerseys. And You see a couple of Jags jerseys, and it is a bunch of people that just buy the Jaguar jerseys just for the sake of them being there.
And the color of it.
And the
There's
color,
people that
exactly.
are like, I like blue. I'm gonna be a Giants fan. Like,
Bro, exactly. There's people there in Giants jerseys, so on and so forth. Realistically, you're just getting whatever fucking jersey that you got from your American relatives from Christmas the year before. Like, I'm sorry. Just keep doing what you're doing now. If you really want to globalize the game, then let's go back and bring back the European leagues. Like that shit was dope. You know,
I like that idea. That helps your point a lot. I want to hear these other points before I judge your point, though. But all right, go on, Ty. Take this one over.
I mean, I also agree that it's not a good idea. I mean, Robbie kind of took a major factor in this is will they play? They can't go back and forth weekly. That is a lot on a human being. I don't care who you are. I get that it's a little different scenario. It's a weekly thing, but there are already players in the NBA that we've been talking about that hate going to Toronto because it's already a plane ride to get home, to get away. Like, that sucks. Again, family-wise, just jet lag on these guys that are going back and forth instead of, teams that are in the same state. Like, oh, you're playing a California team? Shit, we're driving 20 minutes south to go play them this week. Like, you always have a 12-plus hour plane ride. So, I mean, I'm not with it. I don't think it should be a good idea.
People do fly from like New York to like LA though, and stuff like that.
I mean, for sure. Again, it's not like there's not a lot of travel already, but adding a whole nother country, Mexico City is a conversation. That is closer, much, much closer, but we've had field problems down there. We've had just problems that aren't traveling, which makes it worse, in my opinion.
Toronto might be the best option, like they said in the chat.
Really quick with this. Have you guys ever been to a fucking international soccer game? Okay. I used to be stationed in Italy, and I've been to an international soccer game. All right. Don't ask me the team. Can't remember because I was shit-faced the whole time. All right. They let off flares inside the damn stadium in the stands.
The NFL rules just don't really mesh well with the craziness that is the fans out there. And again, I agree. It's not like there's a large demographic of one specific team. Like, you're going to lose interest in all the people that maybe weren't a Jaguars fan at first, but like that's the team they kind of embraced and kind of learned about. And now 2-3 years later, you are a Jaguars fan. You know what I mean? And you send the Chargers out there. People are going to be like, well, fuck, like, I'm only going to go once a year to go see the Jags play if they play them that year. Otherwise, I mean, you could lose their interest, and it's a money pit at that point, and you just are leaving dudes over there to fend for themselves at this point. Like, I'm not with it.
So 2 no's. What do you got, Pete? You gonna give me a different answer on this one?
Nah. I agree 100%, bro. Like, it's the National Football League. You know what I'm saying? It's not the every football league, and I don't think it's
what's national means we'd go places.
Nah. Keep it national, bro. Keep it national.
I like that idea.
Keep it in house.
Yeah.
Again, honestly, having one game a year where you send 2 teams over there is okay. Like, that brings in the publicity. It is what it is, but make it 2 different teams every year that you do it. And I don't know. I already think
what Robbie said. I think you should bring back because if you really do have interest, you can bring back minor leagues and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I'll also state this. This is one of those things that as a fan, you're like, fuck yeah, more football, yeah. And then some billionaire who obviously gets paid a whole fuck ton more than you do to think a lot smarter than you and I do, steps in and is like, let's think about the price of plane tickets just alone for a second.
Think about the budget you have to give to that team that's different than the rest of the NFL.
It's gonna be higher taxes for sure.
Yeah, and again, it's just a whole different environment where you're gonna live. Some of these guys could have to learn a new language or at least a new slang of language. You know,
if you get traded, you have to wait like 3 weeks to play?
What the hell? Yeah, like how does that work? How does a free agent work? Like, hey, we're gonna fly you to London to work you out because you're a free agent. Like,
we've already we can't even keep players in control on our own soil to not get caught with dime bags left over in their luggage from the night before because they partied too hard from whooping the fucking Dolphins' ass because it was an easy game. So they're like, we're just gonna go out and smoke a couple of doobies and fuck some bitches like it's no problem. And then you're trying to board it, and TSA's like, what is this? We can't even get those problems handled here. We don't want to open up an international Interpol TSA custom side of this shit. No.
We should. I have a question about Jake Miller's question. I'd like to bring that up if you guys don't mind. It's is the NCAA Young and Wiseman like the two top picks? Basically, they no longer have a need to play. Do you guys think that's right? What is the best thing the NCAA should do in this situation where you got the best players in the world and they can just ditch it, or they can just kind of like play elsewhere, play semi-pro and do all these other things in order to build their brands?
well,
The NCAA is kind of
I'm leaving if I'm
worthless now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna punish me and you're gonna screw me over, all because Penny Hardaway got kind of helping out in a sense, then yeah, I mean, fuck you. Bye.
Yeah, just let it burn down. I kind of feel the same way, and that's pretty much the consensus in the chat. I just thought we could touch on that too. I have no. I like watching the EuroLeague now more than I like watching the NCAA. That's me personally. So that's just something I thought we could. Jake Miller brought up a good point in the chat with a couple good topics, but
well, the NCAA will eventually, years from now. I mean, yeah. Now they are allowing players to be able to, kind of make money, make profit off their own name and likeness. But eventually later on down the line, all that it's going to become is guys that literally aren't good enough to probably go and play in those other leagues and make money and, so on and so forth, all those other leagues. And it's just going to be guys that you need an education as a fallback. Those guys that truly, truly believe that. And I think that's what that's going to become.
I see them making the NBA less and less. And I kind of like it, actually. So, yeah, let's move back on to the NFL. Unless do you guys have any other things to say about the NCAA and the crumbling?
I just agree. I mean, I get that Young's situation is a little bit different. I mean, if you're playing football, you don't really have a Euro league to go to. Shit, like I guess go play some rugby and kill some people, and you maybe could get signed. There's rugby players, but I mean, if you're in basketball, you get in trouble. Like, dude, go to Europe. Go to Europe. You will be just as looked at. You'll be just as scouted. Yeah, you won't. Yes, Wiseman is the potential number one pick. Already being the number one pick, going somewhere and at least playing the sport of basketball while this is going on and you can't go to college, I would do that. I mean, I don't care. You're at least making the NBA. In the NFL, I mean, Young is screwed. Like, there's no Canadian football league to go to. Like, maybe XFL eventually, but like
you could just let people already know you're the best, according to.
He could, but it's hard to, so.
Yeah, but then you're right. But people question your work ethic. You got any points about the NCAA, my friend Pete?
Well, I mean, what gets me is like, these coaches know that it's going to end up putting this player in a potential situation. Why do they do it in the first place? You know what I mean? It almost seems like they're.
This is their number one pick going to a school like Memphis.
I mean, bro,
who's a top 10 guy and goes to Memphis? I mean, I get Penny, but like
this is classic. I mean, this is classic. Eric Dickerson picks SMU. Like,
I think if he would have went somewhere like Duke or like a big school, they'd have been like, Coach K, probably you got it figured out. You know what I mean? Like Penny Hardaway.
I mean, it's a shame to see some of these top prospects get coached by good coaches. I'm not saying Penny Hardaway is not a good coach. Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying that there's absolutely there should have been nothing wrong with it. I will say though, like you said, the rugby thing. I play flag with the dude that plays rugby now, and this dude's motor is fucking intense. Like he can just go play for play. I'm like, my God.
I'm saying, at least go put yourself somewhere where you can be seen, or like something like that. I get that at the same time, he could not sit on his butt, like work out, do what you got to do for, a year and then come back however long it takes for you to get back into it. But if they're gonna ruin your chances of making it to the NFL, figure out something to do since there isn't a Euro League and, help yourself. So
take a year off, go play in Europe, get your wild oats.
I think it should be free for all, man. Like, give them as much money as you. I don't even care. 18 years old, give them whatever you want. I don't even care.
I already said my thing with that is there should be a salary to play basketball. Like, yes, they shouldn't break the bank for the kids, but you should be like, look, this is like a 9-to-5 job. We will pay you this amount per year. Yeah, I get it's more for the schools, but like you can afford that. Fuck you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you guys making billions of dollars.
Yeah. Even if you put a college kid on a six like $50K a year, like $50K a year at 18, where you don't have like really anything else you're worrying about. And, 50, $60K a year is nice for an 18-year-old. Like, you know what I mean? Let the kid have a salary, know that he's at least getting some kind of money. It's the same for, maybe however they'd have to structure it. Starters get an extra 5. If you play a certain number of minutes at the end of the year, you get an extra bonus, something like that. But like, let the fucking kids have some money.
Look, the whole aspect of you paying to go and get a college education or getting scholarship to go get a college education is therefore for you to learn about real life and business and so on and so forth, and the actual shit that high school didn't teach you. Might as well pay me so I learn how to, manage my own money and get my own finances. Since when I get out of this month already, that my brand and my likeness, and that's something I'm going to have to learn irregardless. Wouldn't you rather you teach me now before some grimy agent has to try and teach me in Los Angeles?
I like Jake Miller said. The XFL is taking 18-year-olds. Think about that. What if, yeah, exactly. Think about that. What if you're an 18-year-old and you got all these coaches and shit, and they're all just saying, oh, come to my school, come to my school, come to my school. But the XFL says, I'll give you $100K if you come right out of high school to play quarterback.
Dude, that's hog heaven. That's a bet. That's a bet.
Who would say no to that? Like, who would say no to that? You can make your way in the XFL, and then if you are a beast, you can like go to the NFL. I don't know. I just think that's awesome. So that would be really cool. Let's move on to this next question. I'll let you guys have your last words there, and I'm going to look up this.
XFL 2020 coverage coming to the Rumboyz Fantasy Network.
Oh, God.
Called it.
Oh, God.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Great.
Oh, there it is.
By the way, did you hear about the new reporting position that the XFL is going to have?
Oh, no.
It is a field analyst. So Pat McAfee is going to be the field analyst. Per his description, he does not know exactly what the fuck it entails, but he's just gonna be like in the huddle and just like
I did see that actually.
He's gonna like be like on the field. He's like, so like I'll be like getting back in shape because I'm assuming I'm gonna have to run around dodge stuff.
That's sick. That's sick.
He's like, so I can just go from one huddle. Yeah, so I told him to go and run a pitch play to the guy over there. Hey, just so you know, I just told him that you're gonna run a pitch.
Like, hey, how much you think your coach will pay me for this right now? Like, Pat wouldn't do that.
No, but it was hilarious the way he was describing it. Like I was like, oh gosh, this is great. This is gonna be great.
That would be awesome. I would love to see Pat. I like watching Pat McAfee. He's awesome. Who is your early half-season MVP pick in the NFL? I have all the stats. If you need to know the stats, just ask me.
Oh, should I just let you be blue in the face when you run off the stats? I'm just kidding.
I could do that if you want. I got all listed.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I gotta go with the man, Dangerous. He's so dangerous, so dangerous. I gotta go with Dangerous. What he is doing up there in Seattle, his ability to extend plays with his legs. I know that many people want to, put Watson and Jackson in that conversation, but I'm sorry, this man had it all wrapped up when suddenly his headset went out and he had to call and operate the offense all on his goddamn lonesome. When you're making moves like that and you're playing football like that, you're playing at a different level. You're playing at a higher level than your other counterparts. Jackson, you're still young. Season MVP. Yeah, season MVP is in your storyline soon, somewhere, somehow. Watson, same for you. McCaffrey, I get it. You know, the whole offense runs through you. But when's the last time realistically a running back has got it since Adrian Peterson?
And that was 50 yards too. They went to the playoffs. So
sorry, I'm rocking with Russ.
I'll be honest, I really don't disagree with you, but for the sake of Russell not being the only MVP, I'm looking at Christian McCaffrey. I like it. I agree that running backs just get snubbed. They will have record-breaking seasons, all this and that, and it's still a quarterback league. It is still a quarterback-type award, which is upsetting. But honestly, the whole offense does run through McCaffrey. I think he has plenty of games left ahead of him where he is going to put up even more numbers than he has currently. I agree with JD that playoffs is the only reason, and W's are the only reason that he probably honestly won't be considered, because I don't see the Panthers really making any big steps towards a lot of W's to end the season. So that's my only reason he doesn't win it. But stat-wise, I think McCaffrey, second half of the year-wise, McCaffrey, I think the dude is unfreaking real, and he is the future of running backs, doing any and everything and touching the ball 80% of snaps. So I would like to see McCaffrey win it.
What about you, Pete?
So I'm going to take a little bit of both of y'all's, and I'm going to make those two have a baby. That's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Is Lamar Jackson?
Lamar can't catch. Whatever. Good.
What? It
don't matter.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
He was scared to play receiver. He didn't want to play receiver.
But go ahead.
Do your thing.
So rushing yards, he's putting up more rushing yards than most running backs. Like, it's nasty, bro. I mean, his yards per carry, the fact that he's precise, can get the ball to the open receivers, he puts the team on his back. I mean, look what he did against the Pats. Like, I mean, undefeated, and then just, wow, what happened? You saw Tom Brady's face, bro. He's a force to be reckoned with.
18 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, 637 yards. He has 23 total touchdowns to Russell Wilson's 22.
To validate your point even more, defensive coordinators game plan for the most explosive player on the field. When the most explosive player on the field literally has the ball from the moment of the snap, that's a fucking problem.
Oh, yeah.
You're game planning for a different beast there.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't game planning against Michael Vick. Okay, we know that he has legs, but we also know that he has a cannon. All right, let's just make him have to throw against us. This is, if we try and make him throw against us,
he'll still eat us alive.
Exactly. And it's because of the personality he has. They got 3 tight ends. How the fuck do you game plan for 3 tight ends?
That's true. Solid receiving tight ends.
Yep.
Solid receiving.
That's cutting out Mark Ingram as well. Like Mark
Ingram. They're a team that could possibly make a push for a Lombardi this year.
So before we get into the wild card question, which I definitely want you guys to be thinking about that. Who wins the NFC East between the Cowboys and the Eagles? That is going. They're playing ping pong right now. You're in first. I'm in first. You're in first. I'm in first.
What's that? What you got?
You know, it's gonna. It's crazy. I'm gonna say that the Eagles. I'd rather that than the Cowboys. But I mean, they're both very hard to tell. I mean, the Cowboys, they got to face the Vikings this week, and that's a test within itself. Especially because of that defense that Dak is going to have to be working up against. So with that being said, I mean, with the remainder of the Cowboys schedule, I'd probably have to look at the Eagles taking top position.
For me here, honestly, I think I'm going to stick with the Cowboys. I just feel like I trust their defense a little bit more, and the offense of the Eagles. Though I think if the Eagles had a full, healthy offense, they would be that team. But Deshaun Jackson, obviously, we're not seeing for the rest of the season. I get Amari's been a little banged up, but I feel like Dak still has a lot to prove. And if you're going to prove something to your owner and try and get the check that you have kind of been 50-50. Some people are like, he deserves it. He has been decent. Some people are like, no. So if you want that check, you need to turn it back on to the beginning of the season. So Wentz doesn't really have a lot, that he has to prove. He's had a decent year. More or less, Wentz is proving that he can stay healthy for the season. That's his goal. Dak is, I got to throw tutties. I got to get W's. I got to get this money. So I think just based on the end of the second half of the year being pressure on Dak, not necessarily on Wentz, I'm looking at the Cowboys to squeak it out.
I like the Cowboys defense too. What do you think on this one, Pete? Eagles, Cowboys.
Definitely, I'm gonna say the Cowboys, man. I mean, Dak, he's got to earn his way, man. He's definitely had good start to the season. Recently, he's been shit in the bed, but even after that one interception, I mean, he went 300 some yards, 3 tutties right after. I mean, yeah, he didn't look the greatest, but he was still putting up numbers. I mean, I'd say that it's definitely, like Berg was saying, a year for Dak to show out and show that he's really actually worth the money.
He definitely has a lot to prove, and if he wants that huge check that Carson Wentz has, he's going to have to ball like crazy. Man, that brings me to my next question, and I'll stick with you, Pete, on this one. Who's your NFC wild card then?
Well, I'm sorry, man. I gotta say it. Go Raiders. I really think that we're gonna. AFC. I really think we're gonna pull it out, bro. I think we did what we did against the Chargers. I know we squeaked by on the Chargers.
That's the AFC. That's the AFC. And then what's your NFC? But okay, so you think let's stick with the AFC, then we'll go back to NFC. So you think the Raiders, and then who else could make it? Well, tell me more about the Raiders, I guess. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
It's so funny.
Full circle.
I mean, shit. For the NFC, I'm definitely
pick a division or a conference.
AFC
or NFC.
All right, we're gonna go. We already said an AFC.
Yeah, give me 2 teams.
Oh, okay. So definitely Raiders, and I think Texans is gonna take first place. To be honest, I say Bills.
Raiders and Bills. Okay.
Yeah, I say the Bills, man.
The Raiders are trash. Whatever.
But yes, that's my AFC.
I'll let him take that. Go
my
ahead.
NFCs, I'm definitely seeing. Yeah, Cowboys, Seahawks.
Seahawks.
No, I'm sorry. Cowboys are taking division.
So Eagles in the field.
Yeah.
The field is Vikings, Rams, Panthers.
That's what he's going with. That's what he's going with. For me, what you want? AFC or NFC first? What are we rocking with?
Let's do the NFC since we were talking about Eagles, Cowboys.
All right. As upsetting as it is to start with this, I think the Vikings win a wild card spot. That's painful. Trust me. I literally put 2 teams in my division in the playoffs that aren't the freaking Bears. So you guys know this is a real conversation, but honestly, I like the Vikings. As long as Kirk Cousins can keep his thing going, I don't see why the offense can't thrive. We've already seen what Dalvin Cook can do when Cousins does not maybe have a top-notch game. Dalvin Cook will take it over on himself as long as Zimmer is smart enough to hand him the ball. Vikings defense hasn't been the worst defense in the league. And honestly, even like an interesting stat is the only losses the Vikings have this year are to division opponents and the Chiefs now. The Chiefs are the first team to beat them that isn't in the division. And the division is the hardest games. I don't care what the situation is. The Packers suck. The Bears ended up getting the better of them. I'm sorry, but the Bears on a good game are good. We've just not had more than like 2 of those this year. So, of course, you expect that. So, I like the Vikings. Honestly, I think the Vikings will do what the hell they got to do. Again, it's painful to tell you guys that because there's 2 teams in my division. But my other NFC is not a question. The Seahawks they're a threat. Like, don't just look at them as a wild card team. They are a threat. So, AFC.
What about AFC?
Yeah, AFC wise, I think the Bills are real. That's not a joke. I do like the Bills. I think they've got it defensively figured out. I think their run game is working well. Singletary coming in and letting Gore take just those couple carries that he just as a veteran is taking and doing well. Josh Allen is a madman running around like a chicken with his head cut off, like just gaining yards on the ground at this point. So I like the Bills. I think they're real. Maybe not a playoff threat. There are some big names in the playoffs, but I think they make it. Otherwise, AFC, I'm still sticking with the Texans or Colts. It's still hard to tell you which team is going to win that because I honestly think both teams are great, are real. I think the Texans squeak out the division, so I think the Colts take the wild card. Brissett's health is going to be my big thing on how far they go with this, but I do think that the Colts defense has been holding them together. Mac has still been consistent. We haven't been at the point where we've been like, Mac is terrible this year. You know, he's still held together, maybe not top 10 running back, but Mac is a quality guy. Brissett's been throwing well. They got the weapons. So
Frank Reich here.
And so exactly. And I'm gonna take either Colts or Texans, whoever doesn't win that division, but I do think the Texans sweep the division out.
I think he deserves Coach of the Year consideration. All right, Robbie J. Wild cards.
I want to be like so different because he took like so much of what I wanted to say. No, you're good. Very, very good takes. Very good takes. So I guess I'm gonna adjust mine here on the fly right now. One of mine, just to be different. So first off, yes, I am gonna agree with the Seattle Seahawks. There's no way, no how. No. There's no way, no how that they're not going to be in the picture, especially with the way that Russell Wilson is playing. Thank you, Pete. But especially with the way that Russell Wilson is playing, like I said, that is my MVP candidate. It just sucks that right now that the 49ers as a team are playing top-notch football right now. They're undefeated. Not just in the NFC West, not just in the NFC, but they're the only goddamn team in the National Football League, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, the one that I am going to switch out, I did want to roll with Minnesota, but I'm going to roll with Kyle Allen and the Carolina Panthers. Like I said, I want to be different here. NFC South, they're balling down there. They're balling down there. The Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey is carrying the team on his back. You got some young budding receivers down there. Their names are Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. And I like both these gentlemen a whole lot for pass catchers for Kyle Allen. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick the Carolina Panthers. And the Seattle Seahawks to come out of the NFC.
Panthers. That's a hot take. I feel like that's pretty hot.
Yeah, I had to come in hot. Bro. You know, he took kind of the obvious, probably the more obvious
ones.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine. I am rolling with the Buffalo Bills.
Everybody's got the Bills. I like it.
Yeah, you just got to enjoy what this team is doing right now. They're truly the underdog Cinderella story. You got to love their fans. Like, their fans are great, classic, like Vine, Instagram, like material. Like, they're just awesome to watch on social media. It's like they're just fucking dope. I love the Bills. And I am going to go ahead and I am going to rock with the Colts. I feel like that they got to be the best, the best team to pick when you're picking a wild card position. Just because that AFC South, it's kind of compact. You got the bottom dwellers of that division, the Titans at 4-5, Jaguars at 4-5. Then you got the Colts there 5-3. As long as, like you mentioned, Brissett is healthy, they can go ahead and they can make some things happen. It doesn't seem like it doesn't matter who Brissett's throwing to, whether it's Zach Pasquale or T.Y. Hilton. He's getting the ball out.
How about him, man? Wow.
Well, I told people when everyone wanted to boo Andrew Luck, I was like, we were in the middle of our draft We were doing the live stream when Andrew Luck retired. I was like,
I mean,
Yeah.
but you can't deny Andrew Luck getting more comfortable start for the season. I agree that Brissett is actually coming in and tremendous. Brian Hoyer, even I expect if he had to start, I expect him to get W's. Like he was not bad. He didn't look bad at all. So Colts are fine. They're an all around. They're an all around.
Good job. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Colts have done a damn good job.
thanks.
All right, I'm going to move on to basketball. I have a few more football questions, but we can come back around. Is load management a problem in the NBA, Robbie J, or is it a just part of the evolution of high caliber basketball? Is this just the greatest athletes just not being able to stay healthy 82 games? Should we lessen the season, or is it just the way it is?
I'm gonna put it like this: you call in to your damn corporate job and tell them, listen, I can't come in because of load management. That's not gonna go over well.
Millions of dollars.
Let me take time off from the podcast because of load management. Oh my gosh. Like, yo, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you just gotta talk for a little while. Like, come on, just do what you gotta do. Like, let's go. You know, I mean, no. It is messing up the NBA. I'm sorry, Michael Jordan wasn't out there talking about load management. Like James Harden said the other day, last time I checked, you know, even if I'm hurt or a little bit hurt, like, you know, if I'm sore, you know, I still go out there and I still play. Yeah.
Not just when you said that.
Kawhi's losing some respect.
No, Kawhi's definitely losing some respect because, bro, what like you're this is now the third, fourth season that you're doing this BS. You said that you wanted to come to LA to play. Fucking get up and play. You know, I'm not gonna sit back and well, LeBron isn't taking games off for load management. Yeah. You know, none of the greats have the words load management etched into their story. If your whole purpose of you trying to last or outlast the game and your way of doing it is load management, I'm sorry, that's like a soft ass way of kind of you cheating. Because it's like no one else is doing that, bro. Like no one else is doing that. Like nobody else is doing that shit but you. People are going out there game after game, day after day, playing until they get hurt, and then they recover, and they return, and that's the nature of it.
I agree with you, but I also think that everything is happening the way it's supposed to. Really quick, I just wanted to just add to that because like the NBA just fined them $50,000 for like suggesting that he was kind of healthy, but he was just a little sore. So I mean, if they're willing to take that $50K every time, whatever, screw it. That's pretty well. Maybe you should get harsher each time. I don't know, something like that. Yeah. Losing playoff games, like he can't play playoff games. I don't know. What do you think, Ty?
I actually damn you for putting your take in right before I said it because
sorry.
No, again, just like Robbie, very well done. My thing is they've already asked Michael Jordan about this, so I will make my take quick on this. Michael Jordan said you're paid to play 82 games. Yeah. You are. Like if you get injured, I understand it. Like, but whatever. You're paid to play 82 games. Maybe not a fine, but I would take your paycheck and say every time you have a load management game, I'm gonna cut that bitch. Like, yeah, maybe not. I mean, $50K. I guess it depends on their contract. Like, it should be part of their contract, depending on how big it is, what percentage is taken out per game, you load management type thing. But you're paid to play 82 games. I think if a player is really that exhausted, I absolutely understand and would rather have a very good playoff game than guys tired as hell by the time they got there and just not wanting to do it and just, their bodies are sore. Like, I agree. Allow them to be able to take this load management game or allow them to talk to their, manager, whoever it is about it, but give them a pay cut, some type of percentage, like every game you don't play, you're not paid. You're just not. So that's where I'm with it. I don't think it's ruining the game. I think I understand them being like, damn, like this is a lot of work. Like, again, you can take off work today, but you're not being paid to work today. Just so you know, like,
going to the Robbie called it cheating. would you be okay with the league saying, okay, well, if you're going to take off games here, you have to take off a game in the playoffs?
I don't like that, and they never will happen because of money.
Too much.
That's too much. Again, if you want to do it during the regular season, take off the money. I mean, if you're an NBA player and you want to take off games during the playoffs, you don't deserve to be on my team. First of all, if it's not their choice and they have to take games off for the playoffs, and you're going to take games off during the regular season knowing you have to take games off the playoffs, I don't want you on my team. I want you there in the playoffs, ready to play, hard as hell. But again, like, I just think depending on your contract, even 5%, 3%, I know some of these guys have big contracts and whatever it is, but there should be a percentage each game you miss due to load management should be taking off your check.
What if he just abuses it and does like 10? I'm not trying to like take it too far. What if he does like 20 games or even 10 games? Like, would you consider a suspension?
Sure. I'm definitely with that. Every 5 games you do load management, you have another 5 games that you're suspended, at a random time or something like that by the NBA.
You're losing your seed.
And again, I don't want to see more than 5 games. That's why I said, just take whatever percentage. I mean, maybe make it a big percentage out of the cut that you're taking, because I don't want to see a lot of load management. But 2-3 times a year is, if it means that I get top notch, the best of the best playoff games and the best of the best.
That's true.
Number 1 versus number 2. Like Kawhi, take your load management when you play the Magic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see him load manage when he plays the Bucks.
Lakers.
Something like the Lakers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So make it something like that. And again, if you do it for 3 games, 5 games, whatever it is, then you do get a penalty. I totally agree with that, and think maybe it should increase as you go, something like that.
You got to consider something. What do you think, Pete? Do you like load management? You think it's a good thing or bad thing?
Nah, I just think it's a cop-out, man. When he signed his contract, he was definitely informed that, hey, Paul George is hurt. We have a hurt squad. I mean, you're more than welcome to come onto the team. You want to sign on with us, put your name on the line. But this is what the contract entails. You play those games that you're healthy. I think he's just pretty much at this point, I kind of agree with Robbie. I definitely think that it might be some type of cheating going on, in my opinion, because, I mean, shit, he's still healthy, but yet now you want to get him back to 100% when you don't see Giannis doing this. You don't see –
nobody's going to be 100% of the playoffs.
Exactly.
That's the point of the play. That's the point of it.
Exactly. I mean, you gotta
see who the better team is.
Exactly. And that's where you catch those L streaks and you get those dub streaks. It just, you know what I mean? Survival of the fittest at that point. And obviously, I mean, you want to take load management. Fuck out of here.
If you're a superior player, you don't need load management. You're just going to go out there and you're going to ball week in and week out. Because when it comes to the playoffs, it's about who's the superior team, who's been the superior team throughout 82 games and now playoffs.
I think right now LeBron is winning that narrative argument where, like, I know it's early in the season, but like he missed like 15 games last season too, and he's had like 2 or 3 years to get better. Yeah, maybe you're gonna have some chronic soreness, but LeBron's out here in his 17th year. We're talking about Kawhi Leonard, Connor Burke, and I definitely agree with a lot of what's being said in the comments. Zachariah Brown said take off at least $100K. I mean, yeah, if you're robbing people of their money, kind of like people pay money to go see these stars. So that's another thing too.
Colorado. Honestly, I'm not a Nuggets fan. I pay to go see the Bulls play. You're telling me Kobe White isn't going to be playing? You're telling me Lauri Markkanen's not going to be playing? Right. Why did I buy tickets to this and now I got to wait 4 weeks for the Bulls to come back? Come on, man. Yeah,
it's a slap in the face. It really is. I haven't started with you yet, Ty. I'll start with you on this one. A healthy and engaged LeBron James and the Lakers are playing stellar defense, best in the NBA. Dwight Howard has the highest field goal percentage and blocks in the NBA. Can this be sustained throughout the season and into the playoffs?
The whole LeBron thing, yes, he's LeBron James. There's no denying this man at this point in his life. If he needs to get it done, he can get it done. In regards to the rest of the team kind of holding it together, AD's already had some injury situations. I'm nervous about that. Dwight Howard, no, my man is not holding it down this hardcore. Trust me, he has been phenomenal to start the year. And honestly, all he has to do is half of what he's doing now, and he will be a quality better than what the Lakers thought they did when they signed him. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't expect to get this in. Like, this is your grandma walking in during Christmas with a freaking truckload of presents, and you're like, dude, like, no way. Dwight Howard is leading the what? So do I think it continues? No. I think he stays on this path, having people like LeBron and like AD to be practicing with and do this. I think he still has a great season. Maybe comeback player of the year. Way too early, but hey, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. But I don't think that continues. LeBron, I think LeBron could still do LeBron. It's not a big deal. Lakers, I think we've all decided they're going to be one of those teams to be worried about for the rest of the season. So take it as you will. Some things, yes, I think can continue. Other things, not so much. So.
Right on.
Absolutely, positively do think that it continues. Dwight Howard, I mean, this is somebody that, you know, even throughout all his, a lot of his, what he's done consistently on a night-to-night basis is always disguised with, you know, beef between him and his teammates, you know, him being a distraction in the locker room, social media memes and such, so on and so forth. When realistically, I mean, no matter where this guy's been, he's pretty much been a double a night type of guy. So what he does and what he's bringing, I mean, it's now a lot more seeable and a lot more visible because he's with the likes of LeBron. It appears that, you know, and like was said during the offseason, that this Lakers locker room and this Lakers team did check him before they came in and are like, yo, no bullshit like we've heard, you know, from your previous teammates in the past. You're going to come here, you're going to play ball, you're going to be focused. You know, LeBron is just going to constantly he's out to prove that he's still LeBron of yesteryear. AD, he's just gonna flat out continue to be AD. You know, as long as he can stay healthy, then yes. As long as the Lakers team is healthy, yes, it continues.
AD is probably the best post-up player in the league, I think, right now. What do you think about the Lakers right now, and can it be sustained, Pete, my man?
I mean, LeBron's been there for a year. He's already starting to learn how certain things work in LA. Some of these players new to LA. I mean, yeah, Dwight Howard played with LA years ago, but I get this feeling that Dwight Howard still has that beloved shoulder of his, you know? I mean, that's been an issue of his for years and years and years to come. I mean, he puts up numbers, but he's injury prone. AD, I mean, yeah, he's starting to look like he may potentially be a little injury prone, but I mean, it all just depends on, and still early in the season, you know? So, I mean, they're out for a couple of weeks. It's understandable. Once it starts getting later on throughout the year, we'll be able to see and really differentiate if these cats are going to be able to pull it out or if they're just going to be wasted potential on the bench.
What I really love about what the Lakers have been doing is they do an amazing job of spacing this year. LeBron is just he's becoming a chucker, and I love it because it's what did I say a few weeks ago? Remember, I said LeBron he started just chucking it from like 30 feet. He's doing it.
That's even happening while you were saying it last week. So.
Yeah, and it opens up these passes that are just like, ooh, peak LeBron passes. Just it's perfect for him. So, and also the Danny Green involvement is just
well done.
Primo. Wow, like it's exactly as you would want if you're a Lakers fan. It's exactly what you want to see. So, yeah, I mean, I think it can be sustained. I was wrong about the Lakers. As long as they stay healthy, they got to stay healthy. Everybody's got to stay healthy. Even Dwight.
JD AD to the Bulls.
No.
Dude, hey, let's talk about that for a second.
Yes.
That was interesting. I totally disagree that Chicago is a basketball mecca.
On his bicep, bro. Why are you in LA? You have Chicago tatted on your bicep.
Because he's still got a year left on his contract.
Do it while you can. Do it while you can. Do it while you're good.
No.
Don't do no D-Wade BS and come here while you're trash.
If it flops, if Lakers somehow flop, then I think he goes to the Chicago. But I don't think LeBron's going to let that happen. I think they're going to at least go deep in the playoffs.
I agree. I think he stays a Laker.
Although maybe if he flops,
my bad. You can do whatever.
No, he stays a Laker. He stays a Laker.
he stays a Laker. He's just you don't want to hear it.
Nobody wants to fucking deal with that bullshit in Chicago.
I mean, yeah, that's true. It's like going to the Knicks. We do have some talent, but
it's cold.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be like they'd have to carry the shit out of them. They would. AD would have to carry the shit out of those guys.
I was looking at the crowd when I was calling the play-by-play for the Lakers versus the Bulls, and I was just looking at y'all's crowd, and I was like, damn.
We're playing the Lakers. It's supposed to be a blowout. Nobody's showing up for that.
Well, no, you guys had people in the stands. I was just looking at the people that y'all had in the stands. You go to a Lakers game, you got Jack Nicholson. Well, back in the day, I mean, Jack was there. He got some health issues now. But I mean, still, 2 Chainz is showing up. Like, it's LA. Everybody's just showing up. Everybody just pulled up to the Lakers game. Like, it's just a normal thing.
I'm not looking for Kanye on the fucking side. Like, no. I don't know if I'm looking for that. Who knows what's going on?
I ain't looking for Kanye at all right now.
AD, yeah, I don't see him going to the Bulls, but if he did, that would really flip everything upside down for real. Like that, what would LeBron have left in LA?
I feel like the team too. If we got AD, we'd pull the trigger on another free agent to bring somebody.
We'd have to.
Yeah.
We'd have to like trade half the team, but I guess let's get some fantasy questions, guys, for sure. Connor Burke says AD's leaving after this year. I don't know about that, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. In the meantime, is Gardner Minshew a franchise quarterback?
Yes.
See, he said no, and he says yes. This is a good question. God.
All right. So I'm saying yes because this dude sold jerseys, sold mugs,
mustaches.
Like nobody was fucking Nick Foles this year for Halloween.
Oh.
Everybody was Gardner Minshew this year for Halloween. Everybody wanted to be Gardner Minshew. I even wanted to be Gardner Minshew for a little bit there. I was like,
I want to be a Gardner Minshew.
Exactly. See, like everybody wanted to be Gardner Minshew. Like Gardner Minshew was one touchdown throw away from like having the NFL life. Like he was about to get he was about to bag like a supermodel wife. Like it was about to be a wrap. And
I got that far.
And then here comes fucking Nick Foles. I'm healthy again, guys. Big Dick Nick, come back.
Gardner Minshew better figure out how to get one of his boys to hit Nick real hard.
Yo.
You mind giving him a pop on the shoulder real quick?
For the sake of the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're putting Gardner Minshew. I hope that we see regular Nick Foles. I want to see regular Nick Foles when he steps back out there. I want St. Louis Rams Nick Foles. I want Jeff Fisher was once upon a time your coach Nick Foles.
Jeff Fisher, that's a name.
Yeah.
That's a name.
And that's the Nick Foles I want to see so that we can get back Minshew Mania. I miss the memes. I miss the Beowulf, everything. Freaking Crown Royal sales skyrocketed. It was great.
I bet they did. Honestly.
It's great.
Pete, why not? Why is he not a franchise quarterback?
I mean, it's Nick Foles, man. Like, what happened when Carson Wentz went out? Who took the Eagles and won it? Nick Foles. Like, he's got rings, bro. He's got experience. If the Jaguars actually let him show he has experience, I understand that, yeah, he might have been a little, beat up at the beginning of the season. But, I mean, shit, give the man a chance.
But do you think Minshew is a franchise quarterback, period? Like, do you think because I've heard Pro Football Focus people compare him to Tony Romo.
I got you one right here. Felipe Riviera out, Minshew in.
Okay.
I got a better one. Chicago. Call and go get Gardner Minshew, bro.
And he would still be on a rookie contract.
Motherfucker, hot take. Go get Gardner Minshew to Chicago. Bro, honestly, I don't know how I feel necessarily even yet. Honestly, I'm a little back and forth as to whether or not he is a franchise. He'd be better than Trubisky right now. I mean, I'll tell you that. Like, I trust that for sure. But I agree with Pete on let Nick Foles try. You committed 1,000,000% to go get Nick Foles, sign him for all this. Like, you got to let the dude try. Like, he went half a game and this happened. Like, you got to let him try. It's very possible that he comes back and doesn't throw the same. And it's a very easy, well, fuck you, Nick. Like, Gardner Minshew, what's good? You know, it's very easy to do that, but I could see him having some success other places. He just had confidence in the pocket, confidence in himself. He was finding receivers that have emerged, but at the start of the season, we weren't really looking at the Jags receivers as scary, and he made them scary. That proves you something. So
then all of a sudden,
He's got potential.
Gridiron Heights guys, they're like they're redoing garbage. Like, back.
yeah, I'd like to see him get the opportunity to play somewhere.
So next year, Pete's rolling with Nick Foles.
Hey, you know what? Again, if he's in blue and orange, I wouldn't be pissed.
I'd like to see him. I'd like to see either one of them, honestly. I'll take either one of those guys with the Bears. And you know what? Let's stick with that question since nobody's given me a fantasy question yet. Guys, give me your fantasy questions in the chat. Let's hear them. Let's get that going. But my next question is, might as well say this. What do the Bears do now? It's pretty much over. Like, right? I mean, what do we do now? Like, is Minshew the answer? Is
Draft a quarterback.
But with a second, third, do we have to draft like 3 of them?
I don't care, dude. Jalen Hurts is gonna drop. I'll fucking like at this point we're experimenting with Trubisky, who everyone is clearly done with in pass, or we bring in somebody else that maybe adds some excitement and Hurts can use his legs. Like, I'm drafting a quarterback.
So I'm gonna state this, okay? This is gonna actually tie into my age-old take of, you know, the new guard is getting ready to come in, the young quarterback, yada yada yada. Right now in the NFL, there is about to become a scarcity of those high-level quarterbacks, those high football IQ quarterbacks, due to the fact that the Breezes, the Bradys, the Rodgers, you know, so on and so forth. You know, Rodgers may have a couple more years left. The Rivers, the Mannings, so on and so forth. Those generations are exiting the game. You know,
There's a generation coming into their quarterbacks.
There is. You know, we can only hope that that knowledge has been passed down. Because if I'm an NFL GM right now, I'm kind of like looking around. And I'm like, oh shit, oh snap! Like, who's been taught by who? What's been passed down? Like, where's the greats? Where's the greats? Like, I'm panicking right now, almost to probably how the predecessors were when, you know, the Breeze era, the Rodgers era, you know, all those guys started to come in when it was like, oh snap, like Favre's starting to regress, Aikman's done, Steve Young's done. Like, what do we do? We're witnessing that. We're witnessing that in its prime fruition.
It's going to take some good coaching for sure to get that back up. We do have some fantasy questions. If you guys are interested in that one, does Connor Burke play Tannehill or Stafford this week?
Connor Burke, we spoke about this today during Stepmom Lauren's stream on Twitter, or her Periscope stream. And, you know, I know that she's saying that Tannehill could be a sleeper, but I'm rolling with Stafford.
I don't like Stafford against the Bears defense. I know the Bears defense hasn't been the Bears defense that we've seen, but they're still a solid-ass defense and still a top defense in the league. I know Stafford can sling a football. Trust me, I picked him up, and he's been my quarterback, and I have not hated myself for picking him up. But honestly, I'd look at Tannehill. He's only had a couple weeks, and he's already, you know, looked better than like any other backups. I mean, again, Tannehill's been in for 2 weeks, and he looks better than Trubisky. Like, I'm just looking at Trubisky at this point is what it is.
Guys would rather have than Trubisky right now.
So let Tannehill do his thing. He's had at least another, 2 weeks now where he's fully been QB1 in the offense running his thing. Stafford, I know he's a vet. He is what he is, but we got a tough division, tough defense. I would roll with Tannehill.
Pete, any input on that? Otherwise, we got another question too.
Yeah, definitely. I would say rock with Tannehill. Stafford looks kind of iffy for sure. I mean, now we get too nice there.
Interesting how that Tennessee quarterback situation played out. And BKB says Joe Mixon or Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake is the hot the hot hand right now.
David Johnson is supposed to be back, and he has stated that he is 100%, and that will result in his positive snap count. But we also know that I'm not high on neither of these guys, and I hate both of these guys. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I guess let's let's put Drake out there. I'm not trusting Joe Mixon against Baltimore.
I think Baltimore beats the brakes off of Cincy, and Joe Mixon doesn't get to touch the ball for ish. So I'm also going to go with Drake. At least Arizona stands a chance for Drake to get the opportunity to run the ball, let alone if they're leading at the end. You know, David Johnson might be back to 100%, but I feel like they've committed to running back by committee. And Drake, he's so explosive coming in his first game. Like you got to hand him the ball. You can't just take it out of the hot hand. You know, so you got to at least try and get him 6-7 carries or at least touches, receiving, whatever it is. So.
If you're forced to play either one of those guys, just know that you're not expecting a whole lot from either one. One playing against the Ravens, the other is playing against the Bucs. The Bucs love to stop the run, so just know that it's going to be a long day for either one of those.
Yeah, neither one's really a good decision. I mean, it sucks you have to do that, but neither one really is a.
We have Jamal Williams by chance. I'd play Jamal Williams. He's playing in a snow game.
What do you think about that one, Pete?
I would definitely go with Drake, man. Even if Johnson is 100%, they'll probably still split the carries between the two. You know what I mean? Make sure we're not overworking Johnson. Give him some time to come back in and integrate himself into the offense, and instead of just, here you go, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I definitely see a lot of production still from Drake.
I want to get to that arm wrestling question later, BKB. David Montgomery or Tevin Coleman?
David Montgomery or Tevin Coleman?
Tevin Coleman all the way.
I would love to say Tevin Coleman here, but then part of me is like, dude, David Montgomery against the Lions?
I like
that at some point.
I like David Montgomery against the Lions here. I think Niners are going to be a shootout of a game, and I think there's going to have to be a lot of passing. I know they're a run-heavy team, and that's been a lot of their success, but I'll be honest, Seattle puts points on the board, man. Like, they put points on the board. You cannot afford to just run the ball the entire game. You're going to need a good game from Jimmy G and him to throw the ball. The Bears, they have to run the ball to do anything. And I know Nagy is not really – some games he's committed, some games he hasn't. He's going to have to figure it out this game, so I'm putting David Montgomery in.
I want to see a power O.
Thank you. Like, with your T formation, bro. Why is it in our song and we don't use it?
All right, who can win in a wrestling arm wrestling match? Robbie or Ty Boogie?
We've never tried this. We need to get a y'all got referees?
I don't want to do that.
Flag on the play. I'm a piece of do we have any more in the okay, hold on.
This is a good one.
Godwin or okay, I'll let you go with this one, JD.
Do I trade Godwin or Evans for a big time running back? I got Sharp, Cooper, Godwin, and Evans, Lindsey, James White, and Bell at running backs. So do I trade for a big time running back, tight end, or don't trade at all?
Well, it just depends on who it is. I mean, who you being offered? That's the real question.
I mean, he's probably got to reach out. And honestly, I'm going to go with yes, though. I think Lindsey and James White are both running backs that share a lot of carries, but do produce. So honestly, I would look to either move Godwin and Evans, or Godwin or Evans, and then one of your two running backs, and just upgrade your running back spot.
If you're in
number one,
if you're in a type of league that I think that you are asking questions similar to that, I would gladly state that see if you can maybe hustle away Lindsey and White in a package and just go ahead and get you a top end running back that way and keep all of your high value.
Hold your receivers at flex. I mean, there's plenty of receivers to go around.
Exactly. You keep your value, give away those two in a package. You know, you keep Bell because you know he's RB7. You want to keep overall RB7.
I wasn't even looking at Bell.
But I mean, package those two up and see if you can get Chris Carson, Aaron Jones, Mark Ingram, any of those guys. I'd be
just
willing
again
to take.
a running back that takes a better snap count than either Lindsey or James White. Honestly.
Yeah,
both of those guys split a lot of carries.
Yeah, I'm with it.
What I'd do, to be honest, I'd get rid of Cooper and Lindsey or James White and see if he can't do a package deal there. I think Godwin and Evans are. I got two of them, both of them I'm in the same team on one league, and bro, they've saved my ass so many times. Like they do really well together. I mean, personal opinion, but
I mean, honestly, we're not entirely sure how Shark is going to be with his connection with Foles. I mean, who knows? It wasn't just him and Minshew.
Yeah, I'm definitely saying sell Shark there too.
At the moment, you can kind of hold Shark out while he is super high value and get something solid for that. Again, plus White or Lindsey. So
I definitely think James White's probably the worst out of the two, though.
Listen, I continue to think I have to drop James White and that he's not doing well on my league. He is so consistent. It's unreal. It's unreal. I am constantly like, dude, James White can't be doing that well. He hadn't put up a game less than 12 points all year. And I just like have to look at it and be like, damn, like Tom finds James White. He finds him.
He doesn't have any more options than James White now that Gordon's gone. So it's like you got when you're not throwing to Edelman, who do you get the ball to? So
Ahmed Sanu.
Oh, now Sanu. That's nice. That'll be good. But I think we had a question about early Super Bowl picks. I mean, we are halfway through the season. Anyone got a prediction?
Ravens taking it, bro.
Ooh. Ravens.
Let's go Ravens. Seahawks.
Damn it! I knew you were gonna say. I have nothing to say. That was it.
I would love to see that.
That was it. That was it. I'll be honest. That was it.
Ravens Saints.
This is hard.
Yo,
here's a kicker.
The Saints aren't going to get there because they're going to get fucked over.
How you feel about maybe the Vikings might pull it
off? No, go on.
No.
Delvin Cook is nasty.
Bro, have you looked at? I need you to go back and look at some NFL films history.
Kirk Cousins does not belong in a Super Bowl.
Kirk Cousins definitely.
Patriots versus Saints.
Flacco didn't deserve to.
Patriots, Ravens, Seahawks, Saints. Those four.
Yeah.
Put them together. I don't care how you put them together. That's my four.
Yeah.
Zachariah Brown agrees with me. Saints pass.
The only way I want to see the Patriots in is if they are versing the Saints.
I don't want to see the Patriots. I just think they're
I do not want to see the Patriots.
I think they're going to do something to Baltimore.
Spell that correctly first, and then we will debate.
But I will say this: if it is the Patriots in the Super Bowl and the Saints, that'll be the only way that one of those two will retire is if one of those two sends the other fucking home. And if
I agree with that.
I think
I would love to see that actually. I'd like to see Breeze go out into the sunset or something like that, win, and just say, all right, goodbye, Tom. All right, we have no fantasy questions at the time. Remember, guys, keep dropping your fantasy questions. I will fill the time with a video I watched recently by NBA Breakdown. They were explaining how Luka Doncic is a top 5 player. Do you think the 20-year-old is a top 5 player? You know, I watch him like all the time. So
I'm not stating that at this given time. I'm not putting him top 5 with him still having the ability to learn so much more. That's not fair to him or what he can achieve. I will put him at 10. And in hopes that he aspires and he does more to make it into that 5 mark, into that number 1 spot. But he needs to. He's still young. That's the only reason why I'm saying that.
Yo, Connor Burke, yes. Shark for Josh Jacobs, do that, especially how many receivers have.
Oh, yeah.
Do that right now.
Raider Nation.
Good question.
Not that trade back. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Do that trade. That's a good one.
And we love you, BKB.
For me, in regards to the Luka question, I do not sadly think he's top 5. I think there are just some very large names above him. It is very impressive to be top 5 in the NBA, let alone I do think he's top 10. I agree with Robbie. I think he's top 10. I think the kid has the potential very much to be a top 5 guy in the next 2 years even. Right now, there are just some big names going on. I'm sorry, but even a injured Kevin Durant, I would probably look at over Luka. You know what I mean? It's still there are just some names out there that you can't overlook. And I'm not putting Luka top 5.
I actually agree with you. I don't think his defense and awareness has evolved yet enough. I think his skill set is top 5, but like you said, he's not there yet. He's still really young.
Potential.
Does Hunt get 10 touches?
I think Hunt gets 10, but doesn't make much of them.
Yeah,
Should Zachariah trade for Kelsey for Ertz?
He spelled it right.
If you want to trade, I mean, you're
No.
I'd say no.
No.
Yeah.
Kelsey's going to have Mahomes coming back. Ertz has not really done anything with his starting quarterback all year.
Exactly. Is OBJ just a low wide receiver 2 with high upside?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a flex.
Man's trash.
OBJ should be a free agent.
Oh
No.
you still start OBJ.
No, you
I
still
agree.
start
That's a good
OBJ.
start. Wide receiver 2, high upside.
Does Baker like Landry
Back out.
more than OBJ? He should. He just can't figure out how to get the ball to Landry.
Baker's poop. Back out.
Baker likes the other team's jersey more than that. So.
Is Carlos Hyde a flex play or RB2? Flex play.
Flex.
These are the questions right here.
Flex play.
Oh, yeah.
Hot take fast round.
I like that. BKB, you the man. Keep us honest.
Oh, yeah. So, other than that, I do not believe that we have anything else. J Love hopped in on Sportscaster.
Oh, yeah.
My QBs are Brissett.
Drew Brees.
Oh, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Yep, you're starting
Drew
Breeze.
Brees.
I would start Breeze.
Drew Brees.
You're starting
The rest
Breeze
of your
the
the
rest
rest
of the
of your
season.
year, Drew Brees.
Oh,
He's rested. That was a fluke injury. He's ready to go.
Drew freaking
And
Go all in on Breeze.
paying that. Keeping him right at bay.
Drew Brees.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, man. This has been a great Rumboyz After Dark. A lot of great fantasy questions from the Rum fam, Pirate Crew. Hell yeah.
Love it.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know how we got to close out and sign off the show. Thank you, guys. Make sure that you do sign up for rumboyz.com. Be sure to check out the brand new merch store that is up and operating as well. Brand new designs dropping now all the way up until Thanksgiving. So you guys will have plenty of stuff to select from for your holiday shopping before Black Friday.
Some limited edition.
Yep, a lot of limited edition coming out. So make sure you guys definitely jump on that. Other than that, we greatly appreciate you guys for tuning in to Rumboyz After Dark, the Drunken Sports Talk Show. Cheers to me.
Cheers to you.
All
to you.
the girls what it do. Dilly. Ah!
Thank you, Connor Burke. Thank you, Zachariah Brown, BKB, all the Rum fam.
Love it. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. We shall see y'all later. Enjoy your weekends.